Yeah.
Why they call you Swear?
Oh. Yeah. Ever feel like just giving up was the thing to do? You got depression, anxiety, and some anger too. Some people say just pray about it and maybe you should. But I can teach you how to handle it, it's still all good. You may not know how to deal with most of all the stress. You put the mask on your face to hide it from the rest. We keep the feelings inside and push them down below. But that don't help us at all, but you already know. Sometimes just talking about it can get the feelings out. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, try another route. I got some tools you can use that I want you to see. Plenty of coping mechanisms taught to you by me. Welcome to the Dope Black Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Blaze. Let's get into it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dope Black Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Blaze. I'm so glad that you're here with us. So I know it's been a little while since I've done an episode. To be honest with you, it was a lot going on. And I wanted to be sure that I first handle what came up. Also took the time to rest and recuperate the way that I need to so I can actually do a decent job of this podcast, So what's been going on? We had the Black Father Summit on August 24th, and I thought that it went amazing. There were, I think, 18 people who registered, and 26 people who registered. And out of those 26, 18 people showed up. And I was pretty pleased with that. We were really happy with the turnout. And I think a lot of times when we plan something, especially if it's our first time doing something of a certain magnitude, we automatically think of all of the negative shit that can go on. Everything's gonna fall. It's not gonna be perfect. Nobody's gonna show all these different types of things, and so many different things could pop up. And I can't front. I was definitely one of those people. I was sitting here and I was like, yo, this is anybody gonna show up. The speakers aren't gonna come. People aren't gonna have a good time. They're not gonna be engaged. They're not gonna learn anything at all. And it was really stressful. Then I remembered I can't control everything. And it's not on me to try to control everything. What I can do is focus on what I have going on and do my absolute best. So I took some time to meditate that morning, had a talk with the ancestors, like, yo, this helped me to make it through this, help us to make it through this thing successfully, help us to pivot if we need to, also prepare us to give the best quality information to those who do attend. And, we get there and I start setting up, and, it was getting close to go time. I was like, oh, where's everybody at? And then lo and behold, people start coming through. And I'm like, yo, okay. This is it. The speakers were absolutely amazing. I have to give a huge shout out to Kervin Searles, to Marisha Mathis, to Dr. Norman Collins. They provided us with some amazing presentations. We started the session with talking about the infrastructure of fatherhood and just learning how, what it takes to be a father and what goes all into it. And the speaker, he put his own experiences in with it and the things that he encourages other fathers to do. He's also a mental health counselor. The second presentation was on co-parenting like a pro, and talking about what we can and what we can't do when it comes to working with our partners, whether we be married or divorced or, just dating or doing whatever, and what it looks like. when it comes to being parents and working with someone else. And then the final presentation was about leading our children, but also loving ourselves during the same time. And I think that's something as parents that we forget to do. It's like we put everything into our kids. We put everything into our kids to be sure that they have everything that we need. But what are we doing to take care of us? And I think it was the way that the presentations flowed and everyone fed off of each presentation, kind of fed off the other. It worked really well. And what was really dope was how everyone in attendance, they were interacting with the rest of the presentation, and they were putting their thoughts and their opinions and asking questions. And it was like, it was exactly what we wanted it to be. It was exactly what we wanted it to be. And we're already looking forward to starting to plan for the next one. What was really cool was there are several people who would just come through. It's like, what's going on? It's like, man, if I would have known about this, we would have come. If we would have known about this, we would have come. And that's one of the things that I've learned since putting this on is learning to check and see what else is going on in the community, because there are several other organizations who are doing what we do. And I had no idea who they are. And they have no idea who we are. And we don't want to pull from each other's resources. We actually want to utilize all of the resources together so we can have everyone in one group and everyone and have an opportunity to speak and address these things the way they need to be addressed. And we are looking at it as a whole, and it's not several different people breaking off and doing their own different things, because there are some people who have way bigger strengths than what I do as far as their reach goes. And there are several strengths that I have, that they may not. The fact that I am a professional when it comes to mental health counseling, I can help you with how to manage your emotions, how to deal with your depression, how to deal with your anxiety, how to have effective communication with your partner, Yet I don't know who to reach out to when it comes to as far as finding lawyers for divorce, or what it looks like to work with fathers who were incarcerated and how to help them transition from, being incarcerated to what's going on in their normal everyday life, So I want to be able to get to a point where we're utilizing the resources that are available to us, but I also want to know what resources are out there, and how can we build and how can we grow to make this thing even bigger than what it already is, because there's a need. There's an absolute need. There's an absolute need for us to be able to work together and see how we can strengthen not just fathers, but specifically fathers of color who may not necessarily have the tools to be the best, to be as successful as they could be when it comes to being fathers. So what else has been going on? Again, a lot of requests for therapy, which is really awesome. I'm happy that more and more people are starting to talk about it. I'm happy that more and more people are beginning to, see that it's okay to actually talk to a therapist. I'm really impressed with that. I just hope it continues, and by the way it's going, I believe it will. I think there are more and more of us getting into this field that people are starting to get more and more comfortable discussing what's going on with them and actually getting what they need to be successful in their everyday life. Oh man, what else? Oh, so yeah, so I think I'm trying to. I've been in a little bit of a downward spiral, before. I think I talked about being bored, and I talked about being, a simp when it comes to dating and everything. And so I was just I was not in the best of spaces, and I started doing some soul searching and talking to, some of my elders and talking to some of my friends and, just what do I need to do to get back to being Blaze, and one of the best pieces of advice I got was to lean more into my creativity. And that's one of the things. And they were telling me more so into your writing. I was like, okay. So they were telling me to take 60 minutes, like just an hour of my day, and put it solely on creativity. And I was like, man, that's a whole hour. Like, where am I going to find it? I'm already getting up at 5 to go to the gym and do all these different types of things. And well, what I learned was I would wake up and I would immediately get on my phone. And I would be on my phone for an hour, just scrolling through TikTok and Facebook and all my social media and everything. And an hour is just gone right there. I'm like, why? It's so easy to do, right? Especially if it's like, it's right there. It's like, we just just pick this thing up and it's just like, open it up. It's like, oh, instantaneous validation, and it's one of those things where I had to move my phone, from my bed. So I wouldn't be able to just look at it when, I'm bored, So I started waking up. I will walk my dog. It was about a mile walk every morning. Would do that. I come back, I meditate, and depending on the day, I would either take 30 minutes to an hour to do creative. I would go to the gym, or I would go to the gym and then come back and take 30 to 60 minutes to be creative. And I've started to see how much better I feel when I allow myself to express myself in ways that I normally would not. I enjoy journaling. I enjoy writing. I enjoy painting. And that's because it's coming, everything that I create is coming from up here. It's coming from all of these thoughts and everything that I have. And it's just like, I've been so anxious and angry and depressed because I've been suppressing some of my gifts and some of my talents, and I think that's something that a lot of us do. Is just, we forget that we have talents and skills and we don't utilize them the way that we should. We don't take that time to take 30 or 60 minutes to paint or to play our instrument or to draw or to color or do whatever it is that we need to do. And we wonder why we feel the way we feel. Journaling, painting, creating, all of those things, they reduce stress. They build that self-confidence, and it's a way to just let go. That's it. I mean, just a way to let go. We don't carry all of that stuff with us so much. We don't carry it with us so far. It's just one of those things where it's just like, yo, I can deal with this. I got this now. And it's it feels good actually too. I'll show the next time we get together, I'll show you what we came up with, what I came up with at the end of the weekend. I took remember I talked about the retreat that I went on in April, the Dancing Mindfulness Retreat. And one of the things they did was they had a blank canvas. It started off as a blank canvas and people just added what they felt, as the retreat was going. And it changed so many times and the result was beautiful. So I took that same concept and applied it to this long weekend, and it started off as a old canvas with stuff that was already on it. So I painted over it. I painted over it and then started adding my own little razzle dazzle to it. And it's changed in it's changed since Friday, and I love it. And I can't wait to see what the end result looks like. If you're following me on Instagram at _dope black therapist, you'll see the final result by the end of the day on Sunday. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving the creativity process. I'm actually making time today to do something that I enjoy. I'm going to get myself a massage today. I'm going to see a movie today, and I'm relaxing. And I think for the longest time I was worried about being lonely, being alone, and when I realized that I'm not in the space to actually have a relationship right now, and that's okay. I can do the things that I enjoy and fill my cup. So when I am ready and when I am open and when I am available, I can share my joy and my happiness with my partner. And I can fill their cups and they can fill my cup, and it's like we're never empty. And I think that's one of those things. It's just like we think we need others to feel complete, and we don't. I'm very happy with who I am as a person. I'm very happy with my accomplishments. I'm very happy with my peace. I am looking forward to continuing this journey. I'm looking forward to what's next. I'm looking forward to what's next. And as far as what's next for me is, I will be on a mental health panel at the Bold and Brave conference in Charlotte, September 27th and the 28th. So if you're in the Charlotte area, please register for the Bold and Brave conference there. You'll be able to meet me there. I'll be selling a few books, selling some t-shirts. And I'm also looking to try to get my name out there a little bit more as far as speaking engagements go. I'm applying to speak at a couple of upcoming conferences, and I am putting myself out there a little bit more, and I'm loving it. And the things that are coming up for me creatively is, just who knows what it'll turn into, So yeah, so lean into your creative bag, y'all. Take that time to do the things that you enjoy. Take that time to pour into you, because you're worth it. And not only are you worth it, you are loved, you're valued, and you're dope as hell. And I will always see you on the next go round. Peace.